Let's shift focus to the war in Ukraine now, where just a day after pulling its troops out of Snake Island in the Black Sea, Russia has attacked the
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us, but shoppers.
Hello to all our mentors for joining this session. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this is the third mentor session, if I'm not wrong. And we've been talking to our participants all the while, and we've been interacting with you guys as well. And we also see that the entire Design Social challenge is off to a great start with a lot of interactions, a lot of questions, a lot of great work that is already coming out of this entire journey. So we're here to take you some of the new mentors who are recently joined this competition, and we're kind of going to talk about a little bit about what your role is and what you potentially will be doing here. And we will leave the last maybe 10, 15 or 20 minutes of the session for Q&A. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat. In fact, we just are coming out of a 1 hour session that we had with the participants. Today was the day to submit their first stage of submission, which is their problem identification part. And although it's kind of a soft deadline and there were a lot of questions about it, so we will be looking at answering your questions today. With me, I have Bapu joining in from New York, who's the chairman of UMO.Design. And we have Shyam and Ranjit, who are co-chairs at UMO, joining in from California. So we'll take you through a couple of points first and then maybe answer your questions. So let me start by sharing my screen. Bapu, over to you.
Hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, guys. I see that a very good number of mentors joined from different countries, as usual. And as you've seen that we are celebrating 10th annual Design Social contest. So thank you so much for all your contributions so far. And welcome back to some of the mentors who've been helping us. And also welcome aboard to the new mentors who have just joined us. And this session is meant mainly for you. And some of you already been there. This is fine. We're just going to repeat a bit, and we're going to keep the session till the end where you can actually ask questions. So as you know that some of you already aware that what is UMO.Design. It's been 22 years now. We started this organization, and this is the only organization sustained for long and continuously, contributing to the community. So as you've seen that we are spread across the world now, and we are now global event, and where UXINDIA became now UXI, which is actually a global event we've been celebrating for the last 3 years. This year, we are going to do 18th year international conference. And also, we have good number of community. We have strong mentors, jury members, speakers, and participants who actually we have gathered. And also we have good, collaborations with institutes and organizations. And regarding this Design Social, you see that number of countries, we have 28 countries. I just kept plus because we keep getting so many entries being registered. We already have 350 plus, that means 368 or something. It's going on right now, but we've decided to stop registrations because this is meant for 3 weeks, but already 1 week is done. So people who have registered already and got mentors assigned for them today is the last day to phase 1 submission. In case some of the mentors still working with them and newly registered teams, we just kept it for 29th as the stage 1 submission. But as a mentor, you please remember that we have to close the final stage, which is the solution, which is actually we're not going to change. That is 6th of August. So I would like to request you guys to motivate your teams to register. And we have a bigger vision here. By 2030, we want to educate at least 1 million design individuals who understand design, basically create design literacy, and then give them an opportunity to work in this area. And also, good job. Sorry. And I actually request you guys to be part of the vision. Of course, that's the reason you are already here, but we will be continuing aggressively to enable individuals to get into design, and also at least not designers, but they should at least have design exposure and design literacy. That is our goal. Yep. So let's, I think that UMO.Design has got so many initiatives so far. We're doing it, and during this COVID, we actually came up with that 6 buckets like experience, explore, expertise, execute, excel. Express is the one where we're all part of it. So now we have volunteers, mentors, ambassadors, speakers, jury, and that is Express bucket. And as you know, some of you are being part of Women in Design, and some of you already spoke at UXINDIA or attended, or somehow you've been participated or not participated. Please be there this year. That is Experience bucket. And Explore is Design X Social. And I think last year, some of you already done that, actually, to mentored it, and some of you were participants. Now you became mentors. Actually, in fact, I see some of our volunteers now became mentors, so this is a great opportunity. As a community, we're all growing together. And expertise, we also, I think some of you know that, we started as a initiative during COVID. Now we are helping companies to identify the right talent through UXIN. And design school, we are helping individuals to go through the proper design education through our mentors and catalysts, we call them, and also making them, kind of career opportunities. We're actually providing them opportunity to get into jobs. And you see the UMO X Labs, which is actually this year we are trying to bring in, as we've been thinking, we're trying hard, but this year we are determined to bring into a shape where in Design X Social, if you find some good ideas and we would like to connect with venture capitalists, or we actually, at least we wanted to take a kind of a next step wherein they can actually take a next level. It could also become a startup. That's what we are aim to do that. Yep. So I would actually request Rohan can you take the team through the process, what's Design X Social is going on right now?
Absolutely. Thanks, Vapu. So we've been onboarding mentors since the 17th of July, and officially, although there is a huge amount of requests from so many teams to have new mentors, primarily because they initially opted out of it, but now they want to opt in. So we are looking at assigning as many mentors as possible to teams. So if you're interested to take up more than one team, that would be really great. And it would be really cool of you. So please do let us know about that, and we will try to assign you to another team as soon as possible. So we're very excited with, I think, the great set of mentors that we have. And in fact, we see a great number of posts on social media filling up with a lot of UMO mentors proudly talking about their mentorship here at UMO. And we are also really excited to showcase all the mentors on our UMO.Design page. So welcome on board, and thank you for being a part of this. The second part is the problem identification phase. So this is more of a soft deadline that we've been imposing, primarily because it is important to focus on the problem. And this is something we've been very vocal about since day one, and we've been requesting all the teams to do so today. So in case any of your teams have not been able to do that, they can still do it tomorrow or day after, or as soon as possible, so that we can take a look at it and get back to them with any feedback to make sure that the problem identification is on the right track, or is a part of the theme that we've been talking about. So that is where we are at. And 6th August which is essentially, I think, the next week, is when they would be having to submit their solution, which is the template deck that has already been shared with the participants, which I'm sure you've all seen so far, that outlines all the different aspects that should go into the solution. And then we'll have actually one more week to identify the shortlisted candidates, and then that is again on 13th August. And from 13th, once the shortlisted candidates or shortlisted teams are intimated, they will probably have one more week to get their pitch right, make the necessary tweaks, change things to make it better. And 27th August is when they will actually be pitching to the jury. Each team member will have about 10 minutes, 7 minutes to pitch their deck, and then 3 minutes, which will essentially be for Q&A. And the criteria for evaluation is up on the website. There are multiple factors that go into evaluation, so please check that out and make sure the teams are actually getting in the right direction in a way that they get shortlisted and they win some awards. And then 20th award is when the finalists will be announced and the awards will be given. If I'm not wrong, there are about 9 awards, 4 best design awards for each category. We have 4 categories, and then 4 special jury awards for each category, and then 1 People Choice Award, which is essentially the team that gets the most number of unique views on YouTube for the final video that they are submitting. So this is what the journey looks like, and through each step is extremely crucial, and we would really appreciate your help and your mentorship to the teams in all of these aspects. Some guidelines, again, these are just guidelines because you're all seasoned professionals, you've all qualified to be mentors because you come with a great set of skills or exposure in the industry or whatever. But this is just to kind of enforce some basic rules. The first thing is we see that a lot of students especially look for help from the mentors to directly help them solve or help them reach some kind of a solution stage, but it's more about help guiding the team rather than actually solving for them. And I think it's important to draw a line somewhere and make sure that we help the team get to the final stage rather than just enforcing some ideas or solving for them. The second thing is we found that a lot of teams miss the deadlines, and at the last minute we get a lot of requests asking for extensions. This time, definitely we are not in a position to encourage any such requests. So we would request you to help the teams also meet the deadlines. The third thing about the tools, completely up to you. If you have any tools that you want to suggest to the teams, please go ahead and do so. And we are expecting 2 hours of your time for this week and the coming week to help the teams in terms of your time. But if you can spare more time, I think that'd be wonderful, and I'm sure the teams would appreciate it. Another thing that I would actually want to point out is we see sometimes disputes arising between teams. So we would be relying upon your expertise to help communicate with the teams to settle any such disputes that comes. I think it's important to stay focused on the goal and not have these smaller disputes. It's a very rare case scenario, but it's still something that we should look at. Finally, I also want to stress upon the education for the team members, especially team members that are not designers. It would be great if you can use this 2 weeks to take them through some sort of a design thinking process where they start from the problem, identify some solutions, ideate, and then prototype, and then create a video and so on. And that's essentially how the entire DXS is structured as well, if you take a look at the evaluation criteria or the steps involved and so on. And yeah, please bear in mind that all the participants are not designers. They could be citizens, they could just be enthusiastic people who have some ideas, or they could be students from a non-design background as well. So please cater to their needs and their thought processes. Oops, I think I've skipped some slides. Yeah. So in terms of recognition, firstly, we really appreciate your time and effort that goes in. And that's, I think, the number one point that we've been stressing with all our participants, that respect your mentor's time. They're all working professionals, and you should respect their time. So we really appreciate your thought and your time that you're spending here. And for that, we are going to be giving away certificates at the end of the program for you to put up wherever you want to. And you will also be put up on our website. You will also be, you must have also received some visuals from the UMO team. So with your picture and with the entire format that you're mentoring at UMO. So feel free to share that on your social handles, and please do tag us there, and we will throw some likes and shares and some love at you that will essentially get you a lot of possible people looking at your profile. And we will also be collecting feedback from all the participants at the end of the program to get some feedback on their mentors. And we will be giving out a Best Mentor award as well at the end of the DXS. Again, DXS is, I think, a very mentor-centric program that we do. But beyond this, there are multiple initiatives and multiple ways that we can collaborate, be it if you're looking for jobs, or if you're looking to change your job, or if your company is looking to hire, if you're thinking of giving some talks or teach some kids, or whatever that it is, we are happy to collaborate with you as a community, and we are happy to let you also be a part of the core team, let you lead initiatives, and kind of look at ways that we can improve the design community globally. So feel free to reach out to any of us and share your ideas, share your thoughts on how we can make our design community better and how we can actually create some impact. Finally, if you have already submitted your details to us, that's awesome. If you've not, we'll just be dropping the link again in the chat. Please do submit your all the details in the link with your picture, email, company designation, etc. And we're also encouraging all our mentors to share a Calendly link. I'm sure most of us know what Calendly is. If not, it's just a calendar tool that will help you open up some slots in your calendar. The link will be made public, and any member or any participant of the DXS or the UMO.Design community will be able to schedule some time with you and talk to you. So please do that. That, I'm sure, will be a great help for the community. That's all we have from us today. I think we spent a good enough amount of time talking about the competition and so on. So we would be taking any questions from you and answering any potential.
Rohan,
Yeah.
Shyam can actually take them through the template in case if they need any. No?
Okay. Rohan, thank you for that. So let me quickly share my screen again. As Rohan mentioned, we just did a session with the participants, and then we gave them a good walkthrough of the template that they can use to present their ideas. Right. So I'm just going to quickly give you a walkthrough of this. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of mentors on the call who might have already seen this, but in the interest of the new mentors who might have joined, this is what the basic template that we have given to our participants, and this has been serving really well for our participants over the years. Obviously, we make tweaks to this to meet the needs of the current year and all that. But anyway, so it's a basic Google document thing that you could use. You could ask your teams to use, and these instructions have already been given to them. They just need to download this and make a copy of their own and then start to use it. the way it's been designed to help your team succeed, primarily around the key evaluation criteria. Again, when you go to the website, you'll see a bunch of criteria over there that every team has to meet, all the way from starting to the end, from the problem identification to the solution phase, and all the steps that they need to follow, and then all the criteria that they need to meet, and all the notes that they need to capture to meet the criteria. So all in all, I think this is a good thing for them to use to document their process as well. It opens with a cover slide, and then we encourage participants to think of an image that represents the problem that they've identified. And once they do that, they just need to capture the team. Also add a profile photo over there. As you could see, the teams that are working with mentors also need to add the mentor's name, as well as his or her photo at the bottom. That kind of completes the basic essentials, and then they jump into problem identification to start with. So this is a phase, and the most important phase, as we all know as designers. But once you identify the problem, that's when it sets the tone for the next steps, right? So in here, given that the theme is all about crisis, designing for crisis, and again, the focus and all the material that we've been using orients you to the ongoing war, or maybe the crisis in Sri Lanka and stuff like that. But also at the same time, we also encourage participants to identify any crisis. It doesn't necessarily have to be these two crises, but it could be any crisis that they are experiencing currently. It could be to do with any natural disaster or anything. Pick one crisis, and then within that, narrow down to a specific scenario, right? And more often than not, it makes you think about the target persona. If it could be an individual or a group of people, right? So all those good things that we encourage our teams to focus on, and within that, again, all this is directional. So we just help them to structure their thinking and then see where they can focus on, right? It's because when you think about Ukraine, there are lots of stories that you could think about there, right? So maybe a small little family that got impacted, and then they had to relocate from one place to another place by giving up everything. But then there are lots of resilient families who are taking responsibility upon themselves by not just taking care of their own needs, but also helping their governments and all that stuff, as an example, right? So you could think of broad range of use cases over there, and within that, as you can see, the first category is all about personal. So how can we help these families, help these individuals to reimagine their life operating system? So the term life operating system, it's just a term which helps you to focus on any of the verticals, right? So all these essentials that we have as human beings: your healthcare, your finance, your education, your security, your housing. So your teams can focus on any of those things, and then think about how can we make these systems more robust or sustainable. Because people have gone through this multiple cycles of trauma and all that. We had pandemic, and then now we are facing this and all that, right? So this is an opportunity for designers to rebuild and heal the world, right? So so the teams could focus on this. Or if you're someone who is more interested in, maybe all these problems are rooted in policy, they're rooted in much higher level things which a common citizen might not have any control on. Is there anything that we could inform over there at that level, at the systems level, at the governance level? So can we make these governments or folks who are there think citizen-centric, citizen inclusive ideas and stuff like that, right? So again, loosely speaking, these are some kind of input, some kind of material / fodder for our teams to start thinking about how to position the problem, how to frame the problem. Once that is done, as you keep thinking about it, you would also think about why it is an urgent problem, why it is important for me to solve. So that goes onto the slide. After that, as we always do, without the target persona, target user, it doesn't stand, right? So here is the place where you're going to capture your persona, how many of your personas you have in your story. We encourage teams to copy these slides and then add as many personas as they can add, which goes with their story. So that kind of concludes the stage one, wherein they have completed the problem identification phase and completed all these aspects of that of this phase. Once that is done, teams, so a lot of teams have already done this, I guess, as a part of the process for the ongoing contest, but there are lots of teams who have just registered. So so they might be going through this phase, and the new mentors that have been assigned these teams are highly encouraged to help these teams identify the problem to start with. And once that is done, the next phase is somewhat straightforward, right? So you'll start with exploring ideas and solutions for the problem that you've identified, capture those various solutions that you have brainstormed, you and your team have has brainstormed here, and then after that, you capture the final solution. In here, we encourage you to capture how this solution addresses the problem, why this is the best solution, and how this is different and unique and innovative, if there is any angle to it. And then comes the phase wherein we all are familiar with this. How do we convey this experience? What kind of artifacts and it could be a screenshots, mock-ups, whatever you want to use it. Encourage your teams to capture them here and also create a video for that. And then capture the design process your team has followed, and the impact on the society. Why is the solution important? What is the impact of this? It could be impact on the community, impact on an individual, impact at a global level, national level, whatever that impact is. And then how is it sustainable? Because at the same time, we highly encourage teams to think about long-term sustainability. It's not just you're designing it for the short-term fixing, right? So it is not, because we're dealing with large-scale problems here with a deeper and wider impact. So how can your solution be sustainable? Right? Encourage your teams to think about those things and then capture those ideas. And eventually, as Babu mentioned in the beginning, we're also interested in these ideas to be practical and viable. So encourage your teams to capture here about why this solution, and why they think this is practical and how it is business viable. Once that is done, yes, as you've seen, I breezed through it, but so this deck is structured in a way that teams meet each and every aspect of the criteria. And once it is done, yes, we are going to publish a link for submission here, ASAP. And so the teams, as they keep completing these decks, they will be submitting these completed, finalized decks to us, right? So yeah, so that kind of completes the overview of the deck. I just wanted to give that overview to you, so the teams understand this completely. But as mentors, it's also important for us to understand the structure and stuff, so that you can work with your teams accordingly. That's all I had. Rohan, back to you.
Thanks, Shyam. I think we have some questions. Maybe we can spend the next 15 minutes taking up some questions. Let me just scroll to the top. Oh yeah, by the way, we have the mentors page that is being updated every day with new entries. So it's UMO.Design/mentor. So go ahead and check out your profile over there. And in case you want to, your details are incorrect, or if you are want to change your picture, or if you want to change your position or whatever, the link is here. So please go ahead and reshare your details with us using that link, and we will kind of get that updated as soon as possible. Okay, so the next question I have is from Shirley. This is my first time in UMO. I've got the email related to the team. I would want to know how to go from there. Yeah, just go ahead and email the team, Shirley. I think that would be the best way to start initiating some conversation with them. And based on the team's comfort and your comfort, you can probably use any tool to collaborate with them and continue to talk to them. That's essentially, I think that would be probably a good way to get started. I see some questions about the deck that was just presented, the template deck, which the participants will be using. So there is a link again in the chat, and you must have received an email again on this, which is UMO.Design/DXS22/Design Thinking 101 for mentors. The link is in the chat. So go ahead and click on that and sign up, and you will have all the previous recordings, all the questions, and some design thinking material, and the deck and whatever resources that you would primarily need to help your team and mentor your team. Apurva, I had requested changing my role. Yeah, you can just email us, or you can just resubmit the same form, and we will kind of just update your details. The email ID to get in touch with us is team@UMO.Design. So any questions you have or any assistance you need from us, so feel free to reach out to us there, and we will kind of help you out. Pushti, submission deadline. Today was a submission deadline for problem identification, but this is a soft deadline that we kind of encouraged all our participants to follow, primarily because we want to make sure that their submission or their problem that they have identified is as per the theme and is going in a good direction towards the end of the competition. So that's primarily why this was actually kept in the first place. So we will be reviewing the submissions that we've got, and we will get back to the team only if there is a problem with their problem that they've identified. If they don't hear back from us, they can continue and be on their way to get to the next deadline, which is 6th August. So if they have not submitted their problem identification part yet, we would encourage them to do so immediately. And that's the same message that we convey to the participants as well. And in case there is something, you will be hearing back from us by Tuesday end of day. But please don't wait for anything. We would just encourage the participants to kind of proceed with whatever that they are doing to meet the next deadline. And I'm sure with your mentorship and guidance, they will be on the right direction to the next steps. Somesh, first time at UMO. Welcome, Somesh, to UMO. How can I find my team? I did not receive any email for the same. Okay, we must have reached out to you if you submitted your interest in mentoring at UMO. If we have not reached out to you yet, just email us at team@UMO, and we will assign you a team as soon as possible, because we see that a lot of teams are actually asking for mentors. So we would really want mentors assist as many teams and mentor as many teams as possible. Kaustubh, how do I Calendly link to my mentoring profile? So you can just create your Calendly link and just submit it using the mentorship link that you submitted before, or you can just email it to us with your name and your other details that you shared, and we will kind of update that. Noah, is this a link to add details about the mentors? No, that is a link. The Design Thinking 101 for mentors is essentially the link for you to kind of get access to the course material or the material that we will be sharing. So that's just something you can do, and we will obviously take some details from here to fill out your profile as well. Rakesh, welcome back, man. Good to have you here. Thank you, Vanita, for being here. I think we are just also answering some of your questions in the chat. If you want to submit your profile again with us because you want to change your picture or update your position or whatever, you can just go to UMO.Design/mentor. You will see an apply button there, and you can just fill that out again, and we will update it. Apurva, different teams will have different types of solution. Is there any expectation around showing a prototype apart from the presentation? Yes, there is an expectation to show some sort of a prototype that basically captures the concept or showcases the concept, basically. So you will have, so there, it is also a part of the evaluation criteria. So you can take a look at the evaluation criteria on the UMO.Design/TXS22 website, which is the main page. So you will see the different things that go in the evaluation process. Yeah, I think that's about all the questions that we have so far. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces. Some of you have already been part of the previous sessions. So thank you, and I hope that the interactions with your team members are going well. In case you have any more questions, please drop the question in the chat and we'll try to take it up. If not, Bapu, Shyam, and Ranjit, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think it's great to see a lot of familiar faces on the channel. Welcome back. Welcome to the new folks.
And one thing which I want to add to the mentors is many of the mentors told us that, so this kind of mentoring is very, very satisfying as a designer themselves, because many times what they do in regular job, you don't get always an opportunity to work on a project or an interesting stuff which is very close to your heart. And also you get these good designers who are fresh out of college, and combination of people with design skills and non-design skills that also pushes up to you in terms of pushing up your leadership skills. Also in terms of the way you think, the way you actually motivate teams, the way you actually co-create along with them. And take this opportunity, folks. And we all are professionals, we all work, have a day jobs. And it's also that, the things which actually make us satisfied, that what it, the thing which really matters as a designers. Take this opportunity, and all the best and good luck for all of you guys from Team UMO.
Thanks, Ranjit. I think absolutely we have some really amazing mentors. We really appreciate your time and effort that goes into this. We are really happy to have you all on board. And again, welcome to UMO for all the new folks. And thank you so much for joining us today. Feel free to reach out to us anytime for any assistance. And we will see you all soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.